Our coverage of the New York City terror attack continues with George Solis, who has reaction from witnesses who were at the scene. George.
Good evening, Vic. It really is a stuff out of nightmares. People describing a chaotic scene that ended with loss of lives and numerous injuries. A proclaimed act of terror unfolding near an area of New York City still healing from the horrors of 9/11.
It happened out of nowhere. I was walking down the street. It was a normal day, and just out of nowhere, I see people running and screaming.
Cell phone video capturing the man police and witnesses say drove a rented truck onto a busy bike path near the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan.
And I see two gentlemen laying right there in the bike lane with tire marks across their body, and you could tell that they're not here no more.
Witnesses say the suspect crashed the truck into a school bus and another car before stumbling out.
He didn't look like he was bleeding or anything per se, but he did have a noticeable limp as he was getting out of his car. He did look like he was dragging his foot a little bit, and he was screaming in the street. He looked frustrated.
We saw a pickup truck that was totaled, one man on the floor with EMS trying to help him, and then two other people who were covered with sheets who appeared to have bikes next to them that looked like they were run over.
Numerous people reported hearing gunfire, but authorities say they have only recovered a pellet and paintball gun. This woman says the suspect pointed one of those weapons at her daughter.
She just said, "I saw the man with the guns. He pointed a gun at me. I'm sorry. I have to go get my child."
All of this developing on Halloween, adding to the confusion for many.
It was an eerie scream because there was one female that I saw near the body. She must have seen it actually happen because she just kept screaming, and it was...
Few would argue it's a tragedy that can be summed up in a word.
This is a travesty.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has increased security at airport bridges and tunnels as a precaution. Mary, back to you.
George, thank you. And here's what you need to know about today's attack in New York City. At least 8 people were killed, 12 others were hurt after a truck hit several people on a busy bike path. Tonight, we have learned 5 Argentines and 1 Belgian were among those killed. Police identified the driver of that truck as Sayfulo Saipov. Police say he came to the U.S. in 2010 from Uzbekistan. The attack is being investigated as an act of terror. Officials say they found a note inside the truck that made reference to ISIS. And stay with WJZ for the very latest on the attack in New York City. We will continue to follow all the developments and bring you any new information.